Hey, y'all, tree huggers and tree lovers. I'm Suzanne. We're here with 100 for Trees today. And we have a super special treat. We have Hayley Joy today, who we are going to interview. She's a fashion designer, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But before, I want to say thank you for being here. We appreciate it. This is 100 for Trees, where we raise awareness and funds for trees. And by doing that, I do that by running 100 miles every single month to raise awareness and funds for trees to plant. We also have a Facebook page. We have a website. Feel free to hop on there. You can donate. You can be a part of the action. You can virtually run, and you can send messages. So that's the gist of 100 for Trees. It's a passion project of mine. I love trees and I love running. Most of the time I love running. When I first start, I do not love running. It's usually about mile five that I start loving running. So we are going to jump into the interview now, because I know you want to hear from Hayley. Hayley is a fashion designer. I met her about a year ago, and she has been an amazing inspiration. I'm going to let her tell most of her story, but what I do want to say is she is somebody who had to overcome people being naysayers really in a very negative way. And she believed in herself so much that she pursued her passion, which ended up serving a whole community and has just changed the lives of so many women. And I'm going to let her kind of jump into her story there. I'm so glad she's here with us. She is in South Africa, and so Johannesburg, I think. And so she's got a little bit of a time difference, but she's agreed to come on, and let's welcome her to the stage. Hayley Joy, how you doing?
I'm so good, Suzanne. I'm so excited to be here. And I just want to tell you that I'm a bit of a fangirl too, because running ain't my thing, but trees are my thing big time. So what's really interesting is, if you think about it, I follow you and I follow everything that you do because I'm passionate about the trees, and yet I don't run. And it's an interesting observation, that, isn't it? How to create something that doesn't just appeal to runners. This is appealing to the tree lovers too. So clever you.
That's amazing. See, guys, look at that, y'all. She's brilliant. She puts it together so well. She's exactly right. Hayley, I'm so glad you pointed that out. This is about passion and bringing people's passion together and sharing it, because we all have different passions. The world calls us to do many different things. And speaking of the world calling us to do many different things, I had a brief pre-interview chat, like I do with everyone, with Hayley. And y'all, I could have talked to her like all day. She was just dropping pearls of wisdom, just so generous and sharing and full of inspiration. And I would love for her to say, in her own words, kind of how you got started. Well, first of all, tell us what you do, and then maybe a little bit of how that got going.
Okay. So I'm a size inclusive fashion designer, specializing in plus sizes because I'm a plus woman myself. I've suffered with weight problems since the age of 18. I left school skinny, no issues, and then I had these horrible hormone problems. And back in my day, there was very little that they knew about it. So they just threw you onto the pill and they left you on it. And I had the worst reaction to it. I basically lost 3 years of my life because I was just so dead from this medication that I was taking. And what's transpired since is that I have a really weird body that doesn't like medication. And not only does it not like Western medication, it fights homeopathic medication too.
Wow.
So I've had to find a way around that because, because of the hormonal issue, I suffered from terrible tiredness. So I was never able to go a whole day. I was about 3:00 in the afternoon. I was exhausted. But I think it's an amazing thing how we learn to live with things, and we learn to wiggle our way around the problem. And if you make it a problem, then it's a problem. And if you don't make it a problem, then you overcome it. So I overcame it. I'm very creative. I live in my head most of the time. I'm going to apologize in advance if you hear dogs barking. They're not mine. They are my.
We have dogs too.
They are my crappy neighbors who have zero respect. Just putting it. So I have 5 dogs and they all bark continuously. So anyway,
we can't hear them.
I just wanted, in case you could, I just wanted you to know they're not mine. So yeah, so I left at like the age of 16. I started playing with fabric and my mom's sewing machine, and I started cutting, and I dressed Barbie dolls. I used to cut out for Barbie dolls, and I used to have a lot of fun with that. Anyway, I applied to fashion design college, but there was one little problem. I can't draw. So I can see everything in my head and I can put it down onto a piece of brown paper. At the time, I was really hindered by the fact that I couldn't draw. Today, I view it as a superpower that I'm able to design and produce clothing without ever being able to draw anything. I'd see it perfectly in my head. Anyway, I applied. 400 people applied to this course that they took 33. And I was one of the 33 that they took, and they never asked for an entrance exam with drawing. So yeah, so it was meant to be. Anyway, I went off to design college, but it was a brilliant course. It was design and management technology, and it was the management technology that set us up to run businesses properly, to be able to cost and work out, was it design? Because it's all good and well being a fabulous fashion designer, but if you're not going to make money out of it, it's not ever going to work. So
That's true.
that was a biggie, and I honestly believe that my universe steered all of that, because the fact that I couldn't draw, the fact that I got accepted, and the fact that they cancelled that course we were the last intake. They then split them into design only and management only, which I think was one of the biggest mistakes. Because I think I went off, I was going to be this famous fashion designer, and then I got a gist of what it really is to run a business in the fashion game. And let me tell you, it ain't for the faint-hearted. And back then, there was no social media, there was no internet, there was nothing free to market yourself. If you were going to go onto TV or onto radio, you needed big money to do that. So we had to make our own way. We had to find our own clients. It was word of mouth was probably the best way you could say. I couldn't afford a TV ad. So I cottoned on that there was a gap in the market for plus size clothing. Absolutely. Because I'd put on all this weight. I couldn't buy anything. But I was going to be a famous fashion designer. So I was all funky and I was making all these crazy layered garments and everything. And again, I'm convinced that it was divine intervention, going to clubs, going to dinner parties, going to parties. I'd have all these women coming up to me saying, "Where did you buy your outfit?" And it was like a ding. And I started making. I started saying, "Well, listen, I'm making for myself. You're very welcome to come and try on." And in my second year, it was a 3-year course. In my second year, I was making and selling already. And I realized that there was this enormous gap in the market. And I also realized that I wanted to make a difference. I didn't just want to make a living. I had to be able to make a difference. Otherwise, I was never going to be fulfilled. And I went out on that mission, and I started making odd size, inclusive size, and plus size. And I found my calling. I was just very lucky. At 20 years old, I knew exactly where I was going, what I was going to do. And I knew I was never going to work for a boss. I was only going to work for myself. So here I am, 40 years later.
Oh my gosh. That's a high five. That is like a great story, man. That's amazing. God, there's so much in there. You said it was luck, but you also chose to think differently in what many people would find a problem, a negative, all those terms. You decided to position yourself and look at it differently and look at the cascade effect, but you also took action. You were boldly putting yourself, it makes so much sense that your fashion is so bold. You are so bold. It literally springs from you. And for you to follow that, to hear the passion, to follow it, and you're serving at the exact same time. And you're following your passion. That's so beautiful. And I'm so glad that you have done that. As you mentioned before, it wasn't for the faint of heart. We know that you've had challenges and that you've had struggles. You shared a little story with me where you said, I called them naysayers. I don't think you used that term, but there were some people who were definitely naysaying you. And if we could dive just a little bit deeper into that shift, there was some kind of catalyst. I don't think you mentioned it on the phone call, but there was some kind of catalyst that occurred that you said, I'm going for this. I'm going to help these women. It sounded like, as you were describing it, it was bursting out of you. Do you remember that moment? And if you do, can you kind of bring us in there and deconstruct it just a little bit for us?
Okay. So in a nutshell, I had worked from home all my life doing custom wardrobes, and I had a burnout breakdown at 40. And in my journey out of that, I realized that I was holding myself back, and I was doing all of those women out there disservice by not having an open space where they could come, because my clients weren't sharing me. They wanted to keep me the best kept secret. So it was not serving me or my business. Anyway, I went out boldly and I opened a retail store, having zero knowledge about retail. I mean, I'd sold from home, but there's a very big difference between being a home business and actually having a full-on retail space. So I opened this retail store and I'm really excited. And in month one, they start to come through the door and I'm going, wow, this is like, and we made more money in month one than we'd ever made in all of our time working from home, because I work with my hubby, he's my business partner. And we were like, sure, this is like really cool. By month three, first of all, by month three, I realized that we weren't sizing big enough. I was very proud to say we were going to a 3XL, a genuine plus size 3XL. I'm not talking about upsized clothing, because there's a very big difference. This was my body and then up from me. So I knew that it was genuine plus size. So we started to realize, anyway, we started sizing 4XL, 5XL, 6XL, 7XL, and they were just coming in their droves. And I was so proud. And I was like waiting for the media to come through the door to put a spotlight on what a plus woman was doing for other plus women. And there was crickets. There was deep silence. And I remember distinctly feeling so unworthy and so defined by the fact that nobody wanted to talk to me. And I couldn't understand it. I was very raw and I was very trusting. I'm one of those, I like to look at the positive before I ever go to the negative. Anyway, by some stroke of luck, again, I believe universal intervention, I think my universe set me up with one of the magazine editors. And she phoned me up and she said, Hayley, she said, you are a very sweet woman and you are doing an amazing thing. But I'm going to tell you something now, because I really think that you need to find your own way. She said, the media are never going to feature you, not in a newspaper, not in a big magazine. They are not going to feature you because they cannot be seen to be aligning themselves with somebody who says it's okay to be fat. I promise you, when you feel like your legs have been taken out from underneath you, I just felt like I just sunk to the floor. And I was like, she did not just say that. And she said, I know this is really harsh. She said, I'm saying it in love and light. She said, because I need you. You're doing an amazing thing. But she said, we are never going to feature you because we cannot take that chance that we're going to be labeled as pro-fat. Anyway, I put the phone down. And I mean, for 2 days, I was like, I was just in a very weird space. And then I had this, which you can always say when you go through those moments, it's that moment, that defining moment when you just get that like, and I was like, really? Okay. I'm gonna prove this point. I am going to become my own media outlet. I'm going to step out from my own shadow and I'm going to go live and do videos, which I'd said I would never do. I'm going to start WhatsApp groups. I am going to tap every bit of social media that I can, because by then social media had started to come into play. It was in its infancy, but it had started to come into play. And that's what I did. And I have built a community of women within and without, but within, that is insane if you know what I'm doing, on a level that the magazines and the newspapers could never have given me, because I've got a personal connection to those women. And that's the difference. And I'm so grateful to her. I am so incredibly grateful. She was very kind to do what she did. She was hard and she was direct, but she must have seen something, and she must have thought, I have to put this girl out of her misery and I have to get her to start thinking differently. And that's when I mentor young entrepreneurs, because I've stepped into that space and I'm loving it. It's one of the things that I say to them: don't get stuck. If Facebook is not delivering, try Instagram. If Instagram is not delivering, try, because somewhere you're going to land with the right audience, because that's what happened for me. And it was one of the most incredible experiences, because through the last 16 years, I have used that continuously. I've never let anybody's negativity around what I'm doing, how I'm doing, I've never let it get to me, because every time I get into that space, I just remember that phone call about how the media are never going to feature you. And I'm like, really? Well, then I'll feature myself.
That
And
is great.
just before you wrap that one up, just to let you know how unbelievably difficult it was in the beginning. I used to have, I had a store, and then there was a walkway, and then there was a store on the other corner, and they did very skinny, very funky imported clothing, but skinny stuff. I used to have people stick their head in the door of my store and go, oh no, this is the wrong shop. This is the shop where they sell the fat clothes. I used to get introduced at meetings, Suzanne. Hi, everybody. This is Hayley Joy. She's the lady who makes the fat clothes.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Then it was bad. But I started to come to realize, how did people remember me? Whether it was positive or whether it was acceptable or not, actually, in the bigger scheme of things, it came back to me eventually that people were talking about me and the store and what I was doing, and they were going, oh, she's the lady who makes the fat clothes. Any woman who was in that space that was either fat or had an aunt, a mother, a cousin, a daughter, it was catching them. So actually, they were doing me a favor. At the time, I didn't see it like that. But as you grow and you evolve out of that space of wanting everybody to think that everything you do is perfect, just go and do you, and stop worrying about what the world, because the world's always going to find, they're always going to find something wrong with it. So yeah, that was a really profound moment for me. So I hope that answers the question.
Oh, beautifully. That was amazing. Every time you're talking, I've got the questions kind of like vaguely here, and I'm just listening to you and I'm so into it. And the biggest message I'm hearing come through is you created a community by being authentic to you, even when the world was saying, don't be you, don't be you. You were getting that was literally being pushed on you. And you stepped out of that. Bold. The word bold just keeps coming to me. Ever since I've met you, I remember the first time I met you, you had this very vibrant color. And she always wears vibrant colors, y'all. It's very uplifting, even just to look at her, as you can tell from her painting in the back too, or I think that's a painting. And that energy absolutely exudes from you. I hope y'all are catching the pearls that she's dropping, because you were trained in business as well. Thank you so much for setting that story, setting the stage for that. As she's talking, y'all, she's expressing really the future of what's coming. And it's not just AI, it's also that community, that bringing your tribe, your soul tribe. I think that's what you said actually on the phone. I wrote it down. I remember thinking soul tribe. I'm stealing that one. That one's good. And I love how you talk about your universe. Can we share that story that you shared with me about who you mentor? She mentors, obviously she's going to end up teaching people because she's a messenger, a born teacher. Can you share that little story where some people have different semantics that they may use, but the idea and the concept is the same? And I love this story so much about the coffee, having coffee. Would you mind sharing that with us?
With pleasure. So for me, I have such a diverse community. And one of the things I know, so I study social media marketing like on steroids because I love it. I'm so in awe of what is available. Remember, I'm 59. So for me, it is just amazing. I'm not 20 and 30 going, oh, this is my norm. This was not my norm. So I am hugely in awe of what is available. So one of the things that I know is never discuss religion, never discuss politics, never go there, because that opens up a whole different conversation. If you want to entertain your community, if you want to build authentic community and you want to entertain them, stay away from the inflammatory stuff. If it serves you and you like getting all those hundreds of messages, arguing and fighting, and then that's great. I don't stand in judgment of that. I just know what I need. And what I need is I need peace and tranquility. Like I don't do in the whole, I don't cope with that whole fighting on social media and the judgment and all of that. So I have this very diverse religious community. And when I started going out, I was like, I talk a lot about my universe. My universe encompasses everything, but I do it from a safety position because it's non-judgmental for me. It just seems to just be able to get me in without anybody feeling insecure about what I'm talking about. So one of the young women that I'm mentoring, I said to her, I said, listen, the first step I give you is I ask you to go outside and put your feet on the grass and talk to your universe. It's that simple. You cannot ask for $1 million, but damn, you can ask for assistance and guidance and support to get to the $1 million. And I always see, like, as I say it, there's just this like awakening, because suddenly the lights switch on that, because we're so geared to go, oh, I really need $1 million. Well, like, really? How are you going to get that? But if you reframe it. So she goes away and then she sends me a message and she says, a day or two later, she sends me a message and she says, hi, Hayley, voice note. Hi, Hayley. I was just wondering if it's okay if I talk about my God, because I believe in God and I'm very fine with your universe, but I went back, I said, you can talk to whoever you want. There is no set rule here. Anyway, months down the line, she's had the most incredible growth through starting out, putting her feet on the ground, talking to God. She sends me a message and she goes, hi, Hayley, I have to share something with you. She says, I think that my God and your universe had coffee this morning, because this is what happened. And I know you loved it. And I love it. Every time I think about it, every time I tell it, it's so beautiful, because what it shows. So if you get serious about it, what it shows is that we are so geared to get defensive when it's not what we believe in, what we practice. And I'm not only talking religion, I'm talking, we're so geared to like, but when you open it up kindly and easily and you actually turn the lights on for somebody, isn't that just the most beautiful like conversation to have? I do now, I actually picture the two gods, however they look, having coffee together, going, oh, that Hayley Joy. It was such a special moment for me. I loved every minute of that, and I've kept it very close, because it means that I've enabled her to see out of the box, but feel secure that she can still operate in the box that serves her.
Yes.
That's the coffee story.
That is, it's a great story of exactly what you do. You're a bonding force. You're not a divisive force. You're uniting without being like, I'm going to go out there and unite people. You're simply walking your passion, and everything is conspiring to bring it in front of you. And you're telling story after story of how that's happening, along with you taking action. You didn't just sit there. Your stories aren't like, I want $1 million. You're also taking the action, but it's like excited action. Even that story you were sharing about getting the news from that media person, that later on became a blessing. And here you are talking about her coming from light and love. That's beautiful. If we can go back and look at moments like that, I think what you're saying is absolutely accurate on that. You are so good at social media. You tapped on that just a little bit. And y'all, she does have a unique perspective, because she has watched the evolution. She didn't come in and can only see this area of it. She's actually watched it, the evolution of it, and seen what you can do with and without it. She comes from a very unique perspective. And as you can tell, she's not a gatekeeper. She's very generous. If you don't mind, Hayley, would you share with us just a little bit of a couple of tips, maybe something having to do with WhatsApp or any other social media outlet that you use that is just that you've learned and discovered?
So in South Africa, we use WhatsApp prolifically. Like we are all permanently on WhatsApp. We run everything. We have our street security groups. We have our community groups. We have our business groups. I have 1,300 women on WhatsApp lists that I send videos to. And I only send those videos to those women. I have different content that I send to different places. Not a lot, because I don't really have the time to create masses. But WhatsApp for me has been a very, very interesting evolution in my business. And what I want to touch on is I want to just touch on, like, so you know how when you start out and you work with a social media person and they, you know, they make you do ads on Facebook and you have to do all these A/B testing and all this like crazy stuff. I'm an instant gratification person. I get bored very easily. I have identified that I am a positive ADD.
I love
So
that.
I am definitely, because I just get bored so easily. So for me to have to sit and create all these different things, it doesn't serve me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't serve me because I get bored and then I never go back. So I found this quick marketing on WhatsApp. First of all, I created them as lists, not groups. And there are two reasons for that. Obviously, the first reason is I can't deal with the backwards and forwards and people asking, hi, do you have the black pants in my size? And then you go back in their personal WhatsApp and you say, yes, I do. And then they come back in the whole group to 1,000 people going, can I collect them tomorrow? I was like, oh, I ran away from that. I was like, I can't do it. And if I was in that group, I would have left instantly. So yeah. I worked out that the lists were better. I would go out to all of them. And when they answered, they only answered me. And it worked. It works perfectly. Also, because I'm a niche business dealing with women who have issues around what they look like and their weight and all of that, it made more sense to keep it as personal and private as possible. Oh, yeah. And today I can tell you that they are 1,000% comfortable. They send me photos of themselves. I promise you, Suzanne, I can't tell you what that does for me. When a client gets their parcel, puts their outfit on and sends me a photo and says, look how beautiful I look. Can you imagine that a 5XL woman is sending me a photo of herself and typing, look how beautiful I look. Not look how beautiful the dress is. Look how beautiful I look. Big difference between the dress being beautiful. Like, I love those moments. So what I then also realized with WhatsApp, have we got time? I want to quickly tell you.
We got all the time in the world. You just talk, Hayley.
I want to tell you how WhatsApp started. So when I was in the physical store, I'm not in the physical retail store anymore. COVID took care of that. They wanted to double my rent, never mind give me, because my lease was coming up for renewal in 2020. The landlord wasn't interested. I said, bye. And I moved upstairs into my factory facility. Anyway, when I was still in the store, my hubby had gone upstairs to fetch new stock. And he came downstairs, and as he walked in the door, I was standing near the door, and there was a mirror next to the door. And I was just like fixing things on the rail and whatever. And he walked in and I said, oh, those look gorgeous. Let me see. And I took one from him and I put it on and I stood in front of the mirror and I said to him, oh my word, these are stunning. I said, imagine that our plus size girls are going to have a cardigan that is long enough, wide enough, and that fits their shoulders properly, doesn't hang down here. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm going to shoot a video. Now, I never had any groups or lists or anything. I shot the video and I selected 10 clients. No, sorry, I selected 50 clients and I sent the video to each other. And I was a palooka in those days. What did I know? I selected and I sent to each client the video.
Did you say palooka?
Palooka.
That's cute. I don't even know what that is, but it's cute. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Maybe it's a South African saying, but it's just being like a little bit silly, like who sits there and goes one for one for one, but I didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. So, and I sold out. Like, there was this instant reaction and I was like, wow. Whoa, here's something. Anyway, I got into the whole WhatsApp marketing. It works perfectly. And then I had a little divine intervention last year. I think my universe was going, you, hello, WhatsApp status marketing. So on your WhatsApp, you have a status that you can put videos to. They are 30-second videos. You can put as many videos a day as you like. You are not spamming your community. You are not spamming your friends. You're not spamming anybody. They have to go and look at those videos.
Oh, nice.
It's like, wow, now we're talking, because now I can just shoot a whole lot of 30-second, like I do it in my stockroom, crappy lighting. Like I don't set anything up. I just go. I've got a mannequin. I've got one small light that I put on the mannequin, and then you hear my voice, and I'm just filming and explaining and this and that and why and how and whatever. And I just shoot, upload. And when they want to go there, they go there. So those videos are up for 24 hours.
Okay.
I now have clients who have asked to be put in a group that I alert when I've updated my WhatsApp. I have other clients who have asked if I will please send those WhatsApp videos to them. So I have a group of WhatsApp video people. But the biggest thing about WhatsApp status marketing, there is no algorithm deciding, boom, no algorithm deciding who sees it, as long as you have all your clients. So it doesn't work for you if you've got 5 clients. That's not going to serve it. But for me, I've got thousands of clients in my WhatsApp. So it works perfectly for me. But there's no algorithm going, oh, you haven't paid, so we're only sending it to 2 people. I am getting, if I do 15 videos a day, on a good day, I don't do it every day, but on a good day, I'm getting 6,000 views on those videos for free.
And from a focused market.
And tailored straight. But you know, the crazy thing is I've got people watching the videos who don't even buy from me, who message me and say, oh my word, I love your videos. They're so inspiring. I'm like, how does that work? You know, so you don't realize. And then what I've started to use it for now is on the days where work is overwhelmed and I'm scared to market too strongly because I have to pace it. Otherwise the team will never cope. I then shoot things in my garden. So I am a useless gardener, but I've decided I'm going to flip that and I'm going to become a great gardener. So when I'm going to the trash can to throw things away, I'm picking a couple of seeds out and I'm chucking them in the pot and I'm chucking them in the veggie garden and I'm putting them. So I nurtured from one seed a butternut plant. And I now have a butternut this size. And I have people messaging me going, hi, Hayley, any updates on the butternut?
You're kidding.
My butternut has become famous.
You got the Midas touch, man.
No, but you know what? The thing is, I took them on the whole journey. I was devastated. I kept getting butternuts this big and they were falling off. And then a client of mine messaged me and said, heads up on the butternut plant, make sure you water it every day. And from when I started watering it every day, so now I've got a ritual in the morning to make sure the butternut gets watered. But I promise you, Suzanne, my butternut has just caused such a sensation. One lonely little butternut. So I started to do a little bit of that as well. I started to storytell, take them on a journey with me, show them things in the garden, butterflies. I found these worms on my lemon tree. And I was like, oh, I can't kill the worms, but the worms are eating my lemon tree. I went into the insect group on Facebook. I joined it. I took a video. I showed them. They told me that those worms become the caterpillars that become those beautiful citrus swallow-tailed butterflies.
Oh, wow.
So in love and light, I left the worms and I did educational, like I took everybody on the journey, because what they told me is that worm will only eat one leaf. It knows not to decimate the tree. Plus, I must look out for its poop. I'm like thinking, Okay, this is a really interesting one now. So now I'm hunting. I'm hunting citrus swallowtail butterflies.
Worm poop.
Oh no! And I did see it, and they reckon that that then drops. So with watering and rain, that poop then drops into the soil, and that poop is what feeds the citrus. Do you know? I learned so much from those little worms.
Yeah.
Now, if I wasn't doing the storytelling and looking for interesting stuff in the garden, I probably would never have seen the worms. And you know what? My garden wizard who comes to me on a Monday would have probably scooped them off, stood on them, and squished them.
Yeah.
I gave him a whole education. I called him. I said, William, I need to show you what's going on here. You cannot kill my worms.
Amen.
I think he looked at me as though I was completely nuts. They were munching the whole tree. He's like, but they're eating the tree. I said, please don't kill my worms.
Yeah.
So the WhatsApp thing has become a huge part of my marketing. I run sales. So I've just run a massive 3-week joyful January sale. Crazy stuff. Simple rules. I upload, first come, first serve, and it just kicks. It's like a slot machine. It's unbelievable because they are in WhatsApp. They are permanently in WhatsApp. They with their kids, they with their mothers, so every time, okay, the status doesn't ping, but when I send an alert that I've updated, then it's pinging them, and then they all rush there, and it has made marketing such a joy.
Yeah.
So that's WhatsApp marketing. I do go live on Facebook every Saturday morning on my Hayley Joy shop Facebook page. Works brilliantly. Also doesn't spam. I don't do it every day. I don't do it every second day. I do once a week on a Saturday morning. On a Friday night, I start getting the WhatsApp messages. Hi, Hayley, what time do I need to have coffee ready for tomorrow morning? So it's authentic marketing. That's what it is.
You are authentically you, and it's authentically all come through. And all because the media said no.
Yeah.
We can't align with you. And look what has blossomed, literally like nature. And you tie it into nature. Y'all, she posts beautiful pictures of flowers and butterflies, and it's so beautiful. I love the analogy you're making with nature. And guys, I hope y'all are listening because she was continuing to drop marketing tips in there too. Storytelling, being authentic, bringing people into your world with making the perceived ordinary extraordinary. And it's a whole story plus education plus value. I mean, y'all, the whole time you're talking, she's just dropping like that worm poop, just dropping it, and it's fertilizing everything.
I love it.
I love the nature. I love I mean, gosh, Hayley, we could talk to you all day. I'd love to have you back on here sometime. I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. She's very busy, y'all, as you can tell. She has such a loyal and supportive group that she has created. I can't think of a better word. I know there's a better word for this. Because she pursued her passion, which she was told not to, and look what we'd all be missing if she hadn't. I hope that y'all found this inspiring with her. Please go check her out. We have her website up there. Do you want to say anything? I mean, you were talking about having a live, and this is your website. They can contact you via Facebook. Do you want to say anything to that real quick?
Yeah, so I have the website. Interestingly, my clients use it as a catalog, and then they just screen grab and send it to me. So I have the website so that any new clients can actually see that it's a real business, and it's, they're not going to get scammed, because unfortunately that's the other side of online. TikTok, I'm on TikTok as Hayley Joy Shop, and that's going really well. I have to say, if I can just drop one tip, you all need to get onto TikTok, because there is a totally different vibe on TikTok. And if you consume the content that serves you, TikTok are really good in giving you more of that. And I am learning so much on TikTok. Like, I can't believe, way more than I'm learning on Facebook, because my Facebook is just full of ads. I don't know how to get rid of that, but I'm not getting that on TikTok. So and TikTok is going full steam this year on the creator economy. They are giving all of us the most amazing. I mean, you could go onto TikTok tomorrow and just start talking about the tree vibe, and I promise you will pick up a following like this. My video from Thursday has had nearly 10,000 views.
Oh, wow.
10,000 views, like it was a 3-minute video. My
Yeah.
live on Facebook from Saturday morning has had 3,000. Do you know,
Mm.
like it's like, and that's the thing. You need to step out and be brave and start playing on different platforms because it's free. You
Yes.
don't have to pay.
Mhm.
Initially, you don't have to pay. When you get to a level where you understand it all, yes, then there is value in paying. But initially, you don't have to pay 1 cent. You just need to just step out of your own shadow. That's all.
Mhm.
And stop telling us that social media is bad, because social media can be bad if you're using it incorrectly. I, touch wood, have no bad experiences with social media because I don't engage with it. I don't allow it into my space. I love social media. You and I are here today because of social media. There we go.
That's right. That's
Bam.
right. Another one. Boom. Yes, this has been, I think Joey just put up there, this is gold. Amen. This is it, just gold in so many ways. First of all, you can feel her vibe, y'all. I know you can feel her energy and her vibe, which is so important. She's a conduit. We were talking about this in our mastermind today. The ideas flow through us. We're like conduits, and you have embraced that. And look how much good you're doing. Look at the beauty that you brought into the world, that you're sharing with the world. And I am going to take you up on this challenge. Y'all hear me today, and this is going to hold me accountable. I'm going to take her up on her TikTok challenge. I have my own page, but I do not have one for trees, even though Joey has told me, you got to do this for trees. You got to do this for trees. So you were the second confirmation on that. I'm going to start it, and we're going to see how it goes. We'll walk y'all through our journey here. I appreciate so much that you have shared today, Hayley. I want to give you a virtual hug, virtual high five.
So listen, do you not think that our universes are having coffee or sundowners right now on the TikTok thing? You see, that's what I'm saying. That's what comes from these interactions, little light bulb moments. Just in closing, I want to share one thing with you.
Please.
In my other life, I have stepped out and I'm building my personal brand. It's huge for me to step out of the shadow of Hayley Joy shop, because there I'm safe and secure. And I've started a whole new, which I'm very happy to come and talk to you on another day about it. I've started a whole new journey called Unstick Your Stuck. And I just want to share with you that today I received a WhatsApp message from somebody who said, "Hi, Hayley, I'm 53 years old and I've been listening and following Unstick Your Stuck. And I decided it was time to unstick my stuck and embrace the AI that you tell us is so incredible. And this is what I made for you." And she sent me this picture of me in a top, and a printer printing the fabric, because that's a whole other story, this behind me and all the prints that I do and whatever. And I read, goosebump stuff. And that's what I'm saying. When we share, when we put it out there, but we have all of these platforms to do it. So when you are ready to listen to me again, I'm very happy to unstick your stuck with you. But get on TikTok. I'm watching you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, did you post those images on Facebook? I think I saw something pop up on the AI that you were just mentioning. Did you post those?
I haven't posted hers, but I've been doing a whole lot of, I'm about to launch next week. We're launching our own, because we print our own fabric. We never even got into that. That's a whole other story of how that happened. It's a very interesting one. And it's a very inspirational story, because I was in a very, very bad place when that all happened. But I am now launching, well, I've been doing it for 7 years or 8 years now. Next week, I'm launching my new AI prints that I am gobsmacked at technology. I'm like, oh my word. I sat here and I typed, "Please, will you make me stripes and dots with different colored lines with a black background, and can you make it upside down and repeatable and I got exactly what I wanted." Mm-hmm. It used to take me 25 hours to design one print. Now it's taking me 3 seconds. Is the world not fabulous? Again, AI is going to destroy the world. No, it's not. not if you embrace it correctly. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
leave you with that.
Agreed. Oh my gosh, I would love to dive into that. I can't wait. I love that. I'm a big fan of AI. Some people say it's going to be like Terminator. I think it's more like Star Wars, where they all work together, or parts of Star Wars.
Love,
Yes,
yeah.
I absolutely agree. Now, Hayley, in closing, we always ask everyone this question, and so I want to pose it to you and hear your answer. I ask everyone, so if you could be any tree, what kind of tree would you be?
So I have growing in my garden, I've nurtured a forest in my garden, a small little forest. And I have a tree that was dying in a pot. And I took it, and my mom-in-law is a landscaper. And I said to her, please, you have to bring this tree back to life. She planted it, and I stood at it, and I said, please, will you come back to life? And when you do, can you give me lots of branches? Because I love trees with branches. It's called a ficus tree, Ficus.
Yeah.
And it is huge. And it's got about 15 straight up branches. And it's just this canopy of the most beautiful leaves. The birds love it. I love it. I sit under it every morning. And if I came back, I think I'd want to be a ficus tree.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can see it. I
Can you
can
see it?
visually see it.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And it makes little berries that brings the birds, the
Yes.
berry eating birds. So then I get this craziness going on in the tree. And I just, yeah, it's a very special tree, that one. But it's the branches, it's the 15 straight up. It's like it listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
it
was
got
just
its
about to say
leaf,
that.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my word, you've come back to life. You've come back to
Yes.
life. So yeah, so that's a special one. And I look at it and I walk out into it from all directions. So from home to it, from the driveway section, like wherever I come from, I walk past it. And I've now hung cactus mobiles from it. I've made these cactus mobiles and I've hung that from it. It's just, it's bringing me great joy. So yeah, right now I want to come back as a ficus.
Oh, that's beautiful. And plants hear us, y'all. Plants
Yeah.
absolutely hear us. That's a testament to it right there. Hayley, I don't want to let you go, man. The frequency is so high. I love it. I'm just going to scoop it up and carry it with me. And I'm going to bug you on WhatsApp like for the next 3 days. But thank you. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for you coming on here. I hope that you guys got some value out of this. Please go check her out. Let that energy just wash over you. She's an amazing soul. She is a teacher. She's a guide. She's a creator. All these beautiful things. And Hayley, we're going to have you back on. Thank you for being willing to do that. And I wish you the best day. And I want to thank you so much for coming on here today.
Thank you. And thank you, Suzanne. You know, I love what you're doing because you opening space for solo entrepreneurs, coaches, guides, teachers. You're opening space. And in doing that, you are gifting us to people who may just need us. Because you know, it comes back to that. If you have impact on one person, you have done amazingly. You having impact on all of us by lifting us up and putting us in front of you and talking to you. And your energy is as beautiful. And that video that you did of you dancing on the, I love that video. There was so much power in that video. Do more of those, please. I don't live near the sea, so I want more of those. I'm very grateful. And thanks to Joey in the background. And yes, anytime you want me back, I'll be back. I would love to unstick your stuff because there's a big story there.
Yes, we absolutely, we'll schedule it in. We will schedule it in. Thank you so much, Hayley. Your words mean so much to me. Thank you. And thank you all so much. We love you all. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.